All right. It's on.
All right.
Step down. Spread out.
Thank you. Do you want me to do it? Thank you.
That way's north. I'll face north. Follow along. Hamar inudri. Helga fetheta o kalvo. Hamar austri. Helga fetheta o kalvo. Hamar isudri. Helga fetheta o kalvo. Hamar ivestri. Helga fetheta o kalvo. Hamar ifermir. Helga fetheta o kalvo. Hamar undermir. Helga fetheta o kalvo. Hamar. Helga fetheta o kalvo. Umik o kimir askarf o mitka. In the name of Thor, we call to the ancient gods and goddesses. May this hammer, symbol of Mjolnir and symbol of Thor, reaffirm the ancient strengths and the power of our gods and our people. I consecrate this place of community and prayer, banishing it from all impure influences. May our minds in this consecrated place likewise be sanctified, as it is our will to the just services of Odin, ancient god of our people. As Heimdall guards the Bifrost, may this place be warded against all forces inharmonious to our purpose here today. Wights of the land, wherever we may be, give us your blessing this Mother's Day.
Gods of the Aesir and Vanir, you come to us as winter solstice, as a long ship through the ageless misty sea. Reaching its port of call, as helmsman to our folk, through eons, you have watched us. We lift this horn of mead to you, born of the two horizons, beneath us a token of your guidance. Now may the day grow ever long, may the light shine from the sky, turn the tide of winter. Here to burn the almighty Yule log and celebrate the cycle of New Year. To you we now hail the sun's rebirth. Ring out to the old, ring in the new, ring out the false, ring in the true. The origin of the word Yule comes from a Northern European word Yule. The feast known as Yulnir was first celebrated. It's a fire festival of light honoring Odin. In the early Anglo-Saxon language, the word Yule is derived from Yola, which means the yoke of the year. Yule literally means wheel. When the sun is at its lowest ebb, it is reborn to regenerate the earth in spring. Yule is the shortest day, flanked on either side by the longest nights. It is a time to welcome the sun back from its slumber and exchange tokens of joy with friends and family. Yule season runs a magical 12 days, starting on Mother's Night, December 20th to December 31st. It's considered the holiest feast of the festival cycles. The 12 days of Yule represent the 12 months of the year in the microcosm. Mother's Night is so named as it is the day when night gives birth to a new sun. The 12th night is ended with much oath-making and celebration. Norsemen were known to make their oaths on the back of a live boar in honor of Freyr and his trademark battle boar, Gallenbergsty. The right eye of Odin represents the sun, as does the solar wheel symbol. Yule is a sun festival held in the honor of Odin, as well as Thor and Freyr, as Balder is the god of the midsummer sun. Freyr is the god of the midwinter sun. To the Romans, the Yule tradition was the festival of Sol Invictus, the undefeated sun, which included the celebration of Saturnalia as an intense time of merrymaking. Yule involves both matriarchal and patriarchal symbology, as the mother goddess, the moon, gives birth to the father god, the sun. She then rests through the cold months, which belong to the newborn infant god. In the Norse Yule festivals, the dead were always commemorated and believed to be present in spirit. Yule sacrifices were known to be offered for growth. It has been an unbroken custom to use the evergreen tree as the foremost symbol of Yule season, as it remains green throughout the year. The evergreen tree is a token of that which never dies, everlasting life eternal, akin in this respect to the Wolgi Yggdrasil. The Druids are known to have tied gilded apples to the Yule tree as a symbol of fire in honor of the Allfather Odin. Burning the Yule tree holds its origins in man's effort to return the gift of fire to the gods by burning a tree along with sacrificial gifts. These burnt offerings would also be characterized in the forms of bonfires in the Yule log. The Yule log is traditionally oak, ash, or beech, and is directly associated with fire as the purifying emanations of the sun god. The log is personally cut and brought into the house for the ceremony on the eve of Yule. It ignited the piece of the previous year's Yule log that is available. The Yule candle is another symbol of the light and the darkness of winter. Customarily, it was a large ornamental candle, usually green, blue, or red in color, which is lit at the beginning of Mother's Night. Often, it is displayed in the window of a home to signify goodwill. Holly and mistletoe are also popular standards of the old tradition, and particularly spiritual to the Druids. It was believed that all who passed under the mistletoe were kissed by Freya, our goddess of fertility. Additionally, mistletoe was the fateful poison which brought the demise of the herefore invincible Balder, the god of the summer sun. So, it is believed that mistletoe symbolizes the death of the summer sun, while the winter sun reigns. To decorate with evergreen, holly, and ivy is a long-time tradition in the homes during Yule, paying homage to the feminine elements. The prickly holly signifies the male, and the entwining, yielding ivy is the female. Together, they remind us that nature never dies, but is waiting to be reborn again in the spring. The colors of these plants have significance as well. Red for the sun, green for eternal life, and white for purity.
The sun wheel is one of the oldest symbols of the mystic power of the sun. The sun wheel is of key importance in astronomical Yule ceremonies. The right spoke of the wheel demonstrates the division of the year into the seasons, showing the movement of time. On the spiritual level, it is a symbolic of the seasons of the soul. The wheel of the year represents the journey of the soul as it moves through the cycles of natural and the supernatural. Also represented in the spokes are the 9 worlds of Yggdrasil, with Midgard in the center forming an apex of the 8 spokes. It It is the wheel of nature representing the sacred circle. Traditionally, a wheel is prepared for the evening close to every Yule ceremony. The wheel is set on fire and rolled down the hill. This display is to demonstrate the image of fire and the return of the sun. It is important to know that the Santa Claus we all know and love today evolved into this present popularized form through the Allfather Odin. For a long time, Odin, celebrated at Yule, was in the horned guise of Herne the Hunter, then known as Nek, or Nick, meaning the spirit. The Christian Church adopted the pagan shaman, canonizing him and changing his name to Saint Nicholas. The Americanized Santa today is a commercialized consumer image that created by Coca-Cola Corporation advertisers in 1931 to promote the sale of their soft drinks. Odin is known not only for a warrior god, but also as the bringer of sunshine and gifts. In return, sacrificial harvest gifts had to be left with his holy steed, Sleipnir. Like today, these special gifts were left in socks, boots, and clogs.
Odin, be in my thoughts and in my understanding. Odin, be in my eyes and in my seeing. Odin, be in my mouth and in my speaking. Odin, be at my side and in my departing. The wheel of life is turning through this winter night of darkness. Wheel, symbol of endless dominion. Wheel that binds the world of gods to men. The wheel of life is turning. Sun disk, eye of Odin. Divine life, life-giving fire. Wheel of time, force, and motion. By your power, all creation turns. In the dawn of newborn light, we celebrate the festival of Yule. Hear us now, O gods, as we pay honor to life's majestic radiance.
The tree has had a place of prominence in most ancient myths. Its original mythic function was as the center of the world, a living axis topping the summit of the world mountain and reaching up to Asgard. The tree itself usually incorporates 3 levels. Its roots grown down through Midgard to the underworld, while the trunk rises through the world of men here on Midgard and holds up the crown of branches and leaves, fruits and nuts toward the unattainable heights of Asgard. In mythic tradition, however, it is not only the axis mundi, connecting the underworld with the realm of the gods, it is also the way by which Seder ascends or descends in his ecstatic visits to the celestial spirits, to the souls of the dead, which are known as Niflvari, or mist travelers. Because the tree grows green again every year and produces the seeds of the future, it is a major symbol of life, particularly the evergreen, which never dies, for which it has remained the most single, inidentifiable life system for the Yule season. The tree in general symbolizes a human soul and mind, where it has to do with the unfolding of personality in the process of spiritual individualization. This type of tree stands at the source of life and bears fruit that grants enlightenment. There's an ash tree. Its name is Yggdrasil, a tall tree sparkling with clear drops of dew, which fall from its boughs down into the valleys. Evergreen it stands beside the morning spring.
Snow is always personified as a powerful, fearful figure. A Russian folk song tells of an elderly, childless couple who made a snow doll in their garden, which a passing stranger blessed, whereupon it became a living child. The blue-eyed, golden-haired little girl was very precocious. She was like a child of 14 by the time winter passes. As the snow melted from the foreign fields in spring, little snow child avoided the sun in which she melted and sought the shade of the willow trees. Most of all, she liked heavy showers, and when there was a hailstorm, she was as gay as if she had found a treasure trove. But on the 24th of June, her friends took her on an outing, and they were careful to keep her in the shade of the forest. As night fell, they lit a bonfire and leapt across the back and forth across it. Suddenly, they heard a dreadful noise behind them. They could see nothing when they turned to look. Snow Child had disappeared. And though they looked for several days, combing the forest tree by tree, they could find no trace of their little pale companion. The old couple was inconsolable and imagined that a cruel beast had carried Snow Child off. But, says the song, it was not a beast. When Snow Child followed her friends over the glowing embers, she turned into a fine rose as a cloudlet to Asgard. The Snow Child, sweet and innocent as she is, represents the frosty winter. For all the care that she takes to avoid the sun, she is vanquished in the end. It is interesting that it is not the sun itself which melts her, but the bonfire which in ancestral times was lit to celebrate the sun god at the height of his power, about the time of the summer solstice. In this Russian tale, there is also a direct reference to the triumph of the rising sun god over the powers of the fading moon goddess.
Ula's realm is upon us, and from the sky comes down enormous winter. Rivers have turned to ice. Dash down the frosty chill, throw the Yule log on the fire. Mix the ceremonial mead, hail to our gods above. There's great warmth within our spirits. Eagerly do we honor the 4 seasons, and now the moon has given way to the sun. The day's light will be longer, and life fertility bounty. By firelight tonight, I peer out into the small winter darkness. It is a mother's night of Yule, the sun's rebirth. Bonfires and flaming wheels mark this ancient tradition. In the distance, Sleipnir, Odin's 8-legged steed, clamors above the night mist. The sound of the muted thunder, now the moon goddess, makes way for the awakening sun god. The time of joyful celebration, horns and mead we rise to our gods. Oaths will be made and much feasting. The spirits of Odin, Thor, and Freyr, to their honor and light-giving son. We pay homage and light the sacred Yule log. Outside the snow is still falling. Ullr's thick white mantle covers the land, but the days of light will be longer now. The great yearly cycle has been renewed.
All right, so now we're going to do a guided meditation. So some of us have felt rushed. I know people came in at the last minute, which we're glad you're here. But I'm going to teach you how to do some grounding if none of you have done that before. So I want you to close your eyes. Now I want you to focus on your breath. Now your breath connects you to chi, which is a universal life force. And we all can access this energy. So as you plant your feet to the ground, first of all, I want you to take a nice deep breath, but I want you to start with that breath in your belly, and I want you to expand to your whole body, taking to a count of 4. Now when you get to that point where you feel full, then I want you to exhale also to the count of 4. And I want you to continue this rhythm as we continue with this meditation. I also want you to imagine that you have roots, like your body's a tree, and the roots come out from the bottom of your feet. And your roots are going to sink down deep into the earth, down below this floor, which is connected to a basement below us, but also below the basement's the earth, and your roots are going to go deep. This is what connects you to earth. And I don't want you to think that you're holding on to the earth by your roots, but the earth is holding on to you. Continue to breathe. Start at your belly. Bring it up through your whole body to a count of 4, and then exhale. Let us be together in a spirit of shared meditation. Please settle yourselves into a comfortable, relaxed position, which for all of you will be standing. Draw in a deep cleansing breath, in and out, and in and out. Be aware of your breaths. Feel how that circular motion is related to the cycles of life. So as you breathe in and breathe out, you're breathing in creation and you're exhaling in some ways destruction. But this is the cycle of life. The cycles of the seasons of the year, in and out and in and out. It is the dark of winter. It is the time when all nature sleeps and awaits new birth. It is the long night of winter solstice, the longest night of the year. At the solstice, darkness triumphs over all, and yet, in the darkness lies the seeds of light. After the solstice, dark and cold begin to give way, and change slowly into light and warmth. Nature is suspended in the cold and dark, and all life waits for new birth in the cauldron of change. Within the dark cauldron womb of winter, the dark king is transformed into the infant light. The long night gives birth to the sun child. We watch for the coming of dawn to break through the mantle of night. We wait for the coming of spring to break through the mantle of winter. At the solstice, the great mother gives birth to the divine child of the sun and the bringer of hope and joy, the promise of the summer's warmth. The wheel of the year turns to bring the light. We call the sun from the womb of the night and await the return of the sun child. The stillness of winter requires our attention, our care, and our watchfulness. Much as we long for the return of the sun, we are bound to wait. Waiting is the watchword of the winter solstice. Seeds and bulbs sleep in the dark ground, waiting for spring, waiting to grow. Babies sleep in the dark womb, waiting to be born, waiting to become. Ideas sleep in the mind's dark recesses, waiting to germinate, waiting to create. Everything sleeps in the cold, dark, waiting and waiting. What do we wait for? What is growing in us? What is waiting to be born in us? From us, through us. Take a moment to think and meditate on that thought. You may open your eyes.
I'd like to invite Chase to the altar. Before we end this blót, I would like to ask Chase to stand forward. Yeah. Chase, you've told me you're ready to join this kindred. Is that so?
Yes.
Please make your statement. Which God have you asked to sponsor you tonight? Which ancestor?
Clyde.
Do you fully understand our rules, our customs, and what will be expected of you as a member of this kindred?
Yes.
I advocate for Chase to be admitted as a member of our kindred. Do you have a personal statement you'd like to make? Do any of our members have any objections? No objections have been raised, for all objections having been satisfied. I ask you now to repeat after me. Before Var and all the gods and goddesses,
Before Var and all the gods and goddesses,
I swear that from this day hence,
I swear that from this day hence,
until my death or my release from this oath,
until my death or my release from this oath,
I shall be an honorable and loyal member
I shall be an honorable and loyal member
of this kindred.
of this kindred.
I shall help its members
I shall help its members
and consider my brothers and my sisters.
and consider my brothers and my sisters.
I shall honor the gods and goddesses of the north
I shall honor the gods and goddesses of the north
according to our ways.
according to our ways.
I, chieftain of the wolves of the North Kindred, and council accept you as kin, and honor the oath you have taken here today in front of your kin, friends, ancestors, and the gods. You will treat it with honor, respect, and frith as you will treat the kindred in the same fashion. Welcome. You're good. I'd like to ask Sage to stand forward. Sage, you have told me you're ready to join us kindred. Is that so?
Yes.
Do you fully understand our rules, our customs, and what we expect as you as a member of the kindred?
Yes.
Which god or goddess have you asked to sponsor you today?
Right.
Which ancestor?
My grandfather.
I advocate for Sage to be admitted as a member of our kindred. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Any objections from any of our members? No objections have been raised. I ask you now repeat after me. Before Var and all the gods and the goddesses,
Before Var and all the gods and goddesses,
I swear that from this day hence,
I swear for this day hence,
until my death or my release from this oath,
until my death or my release from this oath,
I shall be an honorable and loyal member
I shall be an honorable and loyal member
of this kindred.
of this kindred.
I shall help its members
I shall help its members
and consider my brothers and my sisters.
and consider my brothers and sisters.
And I shall honor the gods and goddesses of the north
I shall honor the gods and goddesses of the north
according to our ways.
according to our ways.
I, chieftain of the wolves of the North Kindred, and council accept you as kin and honor the oath you have taken here today in front of your kin, friends, ancestors, and the gods. You will treat it with honor, respect, and frith as you will treat the kindred in the same fashion. Welcome. I'd like to ask Tony to stand forward. Tony, you've told me you're ready to join this kindred. Is that so?
Yes.
Do you fully understand our rules, our customs, and that will be expected of you as a member of our kindred?
Yes.
Which god or goddess has sponsored you today?
Two.
Which ancestor?
My grandfather.
I advocate for Tony to be admitted as a member of our kindred. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Do any of you have any objections? No objections have been raised. Tony, I ask you to repeat after me. Before Var and all the gods and goddesses,
Before Var and all the gods and goddesses.
I swear that from this day hence,
I swear that from this day hence,
until my death or my release from this oath,
until my death or release from this oath,
I shall be an honorable and loyal member of this kindred.
I shall be an honorable and loyal member of this kindred.
I shall help its members
I shall help its members
and consider them my brothers and my sisters.
and consider them my brothers and my sisters.
I shall honor the gods and goddesses in the north
I shall honor the gods and goddesses of the north
according to our ways.
according to our ways.
I, chieftain of the wolves of North Kindred, in council accept you as kin and honor the oath you have taken here today in front of your kin, friends, ancestors, and the gods. You would treat it with honor, respect, and frith as you would treat the kindred in the same fashion. Welcome. We have one more. He's in West Virginia. We're going to check on him. In the meantime, Will. Will, the All Thing was implemented as a parliament to rule on the things that tribes are unable to decide on their own. Upon arrival at the All Thing, the Jarls and our chieftains who did not have business or be decided were chosen by the law speakers to act as a Dryden for the All Thing. These Dryden were to speak for the people that lived under Jarl chieftains to ensure that the people have a voice and someone had their best interest in mind. The High Dryden is responsible for enforcing the protocols of board and tribunal meeting and votes. He is the constable or overseer, if you will, of the wolves of North Kindred. It is a duty of the High Dryden to ensure the well-being of our charter members and keep their best interest in mind at all times. The Dryden will have one vote in all matters with the wolves of the North. He will oversee the meetings of the board of directors and the tribunal to make sure that everything the governing body of wolves of the North does is above board, ethical, honorable, and beyond reproach. Will, do you accept this position?
I do.
We welcome you. Spirits of our God, we thank you for your presence here in the circle. We ask for your blessing, and you depart your noble realm with good health for well. Welcome, Ms. Dryden. Welcome to the council. Okay, get your horns ready.
Yes.
When?
They forgot the cameraman.
That was neither of you? Okay. Sal's holding you. That's not it. That's what I can share. It's definitely, it's never happened. It was, well, it's gonna go on that time. Use face to face. I was like, Sal holding this little guy.
I'll get it. I get it.
Okay, and me too.
I think I'm out of this.
I gotta get that on camera. Oh, yeah, there we go. Empty it. Thank you.
Yep.
So we speak of oaths during Yule. Oaths don't necessarily mean coming to the kindred and becoming an oath sort member, but it could also be personal oaths. So before I end the blót, I would like everybody or anybody that wants to come and make an oath to the kindred about themselves, something they want to do, something they want to do with themselves or other people. So this is an open invitation. What is your yearly oath? Nobody, huh? Floor is open floor.
Alright, hi everyone. Thank you for giving me the position of writing. My oath this year is to be the scales, to be the balance of opinions and the thoughts and ideas of everyone here. Within this circle of Frith, we all should, we're brothers and sisters in this circle, and need to recognize each other as brother and sister. And so as you're driving, I will do as I put on my oath ring, I will do my utmost due diligence and give 110% to solving conflicts, giving people a voice, and just making sure people don't, throw hammers at each other because they're angry. So yeah, I oath to that, and thank you.
Go.
I haven't oaked yet, but from the moment I met Sal, I felt like home. And I can't wait. Thank you for having me here.
Go.
Go.
Anybody else?
I actually have two oaths, one to the kindred and one to my own household. My first oath is to the kindred. I oath to be a more active, proactive member in our kindred. But I feel like I've been slacking lately personally. I want to be more prominent amongst our group. And my oath to my household is to help my boys enjoy life a little more, especially during the winter. So that's my favorite time of year. Quit being the overbearing disciplinarian and start showing them that life can be fun and you can slack off a little bit and enjoy yourself.
Go.
Excuse me if I don't stand. I was given a very great gift this year, not just in the front of this group, but in my own health and my own life. And I vow and I oath in 2022 to make the very best of it and have the very best of it with all y'all. Go.
Anyone else?
I have kind of an oath, but also it's a reminder to you, Sal, from the oath that I gave you before. I know I'm not a member of your kindred, but I have always felt welcome with your kindred and everybody in it. I've had wonderful times coming to these events. But I also want to try to get my hearth more organized so that way we could potentially do more collaborations in the future. And that is my oath. So,
Anyone else? Well, my oath as chief of the wolves of North Kindred is to be and continue to be the best version of myself for my family, for my friends, to all of you. You know, you can always call me, and you do when something's wrong. I'm here to help. I'm here to offer advice, and I'm here as your brother. So I oath that for 2022, nothing changed. Skull.
Skull.
And no other oath. I hereby release any spirits that have been imprisoned by this ceremony. Depart now in peace of your abodes and habitation. The blow is now ended. Let the summer begin. Let's go feast. So the council will be surveying everyone.
Hold up.
Do you want me to kill it?
Okay, just because of COVID.